Lead us in the pledge of allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay. Has anyone had an opportunity to review the minutes of our last meeting from January 20th, 2026? If so, I'd like to have a motion.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. Public comments. Robin?
No one has signed up.
No sign up, no public comments. The local labor monitoring report. Kevin?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Kevin.
Hey, Kevin.
All right, so I have, hey Alex, I'm here. So I've got our January report right now for 2026, covering our visits between the 1st and the 31st of January. During this period, we made 52 monthly site visits. We had 1 monthly follow-up visit, checked residency with 589 workers. We had 2 issues of non-compliance, and we had 3 new COMIDA signs delivered. Indus Lake Road, Inc., 2 Minutes for Holding, LLC, Advanced Glass Industries, DBA, Evolve Optic. Any questions?
Any questions? Thank you, Kevin.
All right, you have a great day.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thanks, Kevin.
The finance report, Alex Kingston.
Everybody?
Hi,
Right.
So for January, cash and cash equivalents, we had $1.5 million in COMIDA checking that increased through the redemption of $1 million of treasury investments during the month. We currently hold 9 treasury securities with a maturity value of $15.4 million. And during the month, we recognized $46,000 of accrued interest and market value increases. Maturities of these holdings currently staggered through January of 2028. And then since inception, we've redeemed a total of 21 treasury securities with an overall average return of 5.4%. Now within accrued liabilities, we have about $280,000 of workforce development accruals for amounts that we intend to expend. And then $55,000 of Apex funding accruals, and then about $100,000 of accrued salaries, payroll taxes, vacations, and sick time. And then all other assets liabilities were aligned with our expectations and budget. And then on the statement of activities, everything is generally on track. Fee income can be a little hard to predict based on the timing of when some of the projects come through. We had $55,000 during the month of January. 19.9 came from Genesis Vision Inc. 11.2 thousand came from QED Technologies, and then another 8,500 from Indus Lake Road. And then for workforce development program, we've currently set aside $8.4 million of funding as of January and committed $7.8 million of this to various programs, leaving about 500,000 left. And then the slight difference in program community development is really just driven by the timing of when submissions of invoices come in relative to as it's allocated throughout the budget for the year. But otherwise, everything else aligned pretty well. Change in net assets was pretty close with budget for the month.
Thank you, Alex.
Yeah.
Any questions? Thank you once again. We have project applications. The first is Lang and Sons. Anna, could you read the project summary?
Certainly. Lang and Sons Properties LLC, a real estate holding company, proposes the construction of a 16,000 square foot building in the town of Henrietta for its tenant Kaplan Schmidt Electric Incorporated, which is a related entity. The new facility will increase Kaplan Schmidt Electric's warehousing space, improve its capacity to work on projects, and allow it to expand its workforce. Kaplan Schmidt Electric plans to create 4 new FTEs in addition to retaining its existing 35 FTEs. And the $2 million project is seeking a real property tax abatement, mortgage reporting tax, and sales tax exemption. The cost to benefit ratio is 29:1.
Thank you. We have a representative from from Lang and Sons, Jeff Lang, the president, is he here?
How we doing?
How
Hi.
are you?
Would you give us a brief summary of your project, any highlights, any points of interest that we would like, you'd like to share with our board?
So we currently are located in Henrietta, but I'm kind of busting at the seams, so I'm looking to build a new facility that will allow me to, grow with the industry. The electrical industry is growing pretty quickly, and I need more space for that growth to house all my materials and the manpower that I have. So with the new facility, I would be able to add in more employees and take on more projects that I'm looking to do.
Okay, well, we have a resident electrical expert. I'm gonna ask Ray, do you have any questions for him?
No, I know Jeff very well and think the project will be beneficial for not only his business, but the community.
All right. Any other questions from,
What's driving the growth in the electrical space? Just
Everything
curious.
is just becoming electrified, you know, between vehicles and, you know, different incentives in that regard, so more demand.
Great.
so that being said, I know you guys are an RG&E, but the capacity issues, how do you deal with the capacity issues and where are you going with it and how can you help the community or your customers understand what to do in regards to capacity?
So unfortunately, there's not a lot we can do there. RG&E is RG&E, and they dictate what we're allowed to do and what we're not allowed to do. So we have to follow their guidelines, and they tell us what's available and what's not available. Unfortunately.
I was thinking more, on-site, personal generation, solar, wind, different types of generation opportunities.
Well, that is definitely what's helping RG&E to be able to keep moving forward is with solar. The solar is the big thing, and there's a ton of solar going in all around this community, so that's gonna help kick back to the grid, which is definitely gonna help out people with their electrical rates.
Good.
And the ability for RG&E to grow.
Well, thank you. Robin, there was a public hearing which was held on February 13th. Any comments from that hearing?
There were no comments.
Okay. Mr. Lang, are you aware of our local labor policy?
Yes.
Do you anticipate any local labor exemptions at this time?
No.
Are you aware that any exemptions need to be requested 45 days in advance?
Yes.
Okay. Please note that the secret process has been completed. And that being said, I'd ask for a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Do we have a second? Brett? We need a roll call. Brian? He's not here. Lisa?
Yes.
Brett?
Yay.
Ray?
Yay.
Miguel?
Yes.
Truman?
Yes. Yes.
And it's a yes for Norman.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next project, Anna, is Reedman Properties, CS LLC. Anna, could you give us a project summary, please?
Reedman Properties CS LLC, which is a real estate holding company, has purchased and is planning to renovate the Clinton Square building located in the Central Business District in the city of Rochester. Floors 1 through 7 will remain for current and new office tenants, including the restaurant and daycare center. Floors 8 through 13 will be renovated into 102 market rate apartments consisting of studios, 1 bedroom, 2 bedrooms, and 4 penthouses. Rents will range from $1,799 to $4,145 monthly, with higher rents for the penthouses. The 14th floor will be redeveloped into event space. The applicant is seeking approval of a sales tax exemption and a mortgage recording tax exemption and qualifies for the Housing Plus real property tax abatement recommended in the recently approved housing study. This is a $42.6 million project. It is projected to create 1 direct FTE and has a benefit to incentive ratio of 9 to 1.
Thank you, Anna. Gary Izzo and David Friedman, are you present?
I am present, David Weaver is not present.
Okay, all right. Could you give us just a brief synopsis of your project, your program, and impacts?
We're pleased to have acquired the Clinton Square building, and we'll work on a process of doing redevelopment as far as making it a mixed-use property. Right now, we are moving Ernstrom and Drusty, who is a tenant on the 9th floor. We are relocating them down to the 5th floor. We're working with Acorn, who is in there now as the cafe and sandwiches. We're helping them to come up with plans to expand within the space. And the daycare has been doing very well, and they continue to be a viable part of the property of the building, and will remain a tenant. So we have that nice mixture in there of having some services as well as some A-class tenants in there, such as KPMG, et cetera. We will have, in addition to the 102 units, there will be like yoga studio. We'll also have a fitness center, and the 14th floor, and I said earlier, we're holding that for event space. Various types of events, whether it be corporate, whether it be weddings, that type of, anything, we're hoping to be able to encompass all of that.
Impressive. I remember Clinton Square.
I worked there. I worked for two different people there when I first opened.
And it's an amazing building, a lot of character. And the fact that you have 400 parking spots there,
Yes.
That's really impressive. So I think that it's something that I'm looking forward to seeing, what direction that goes.
That's one of the attractive things of having the property, is having the parking within the building. Is hard to come by with properties in Rochester and the city of Rochester. So that is something that is very attractive.
Questions? Any additional comments? Okay. Robin, there was a public meeting that was held on February 12th. Any comments?
There were no comments.
All right, thank you. Mr. Izzo?
Yes.
Are you aware of our local labor policy?
I am.
Do you anticipate any local labor and exemptions at this time?
There's nothing immediately that is known, but there may be one or two that come up in the future.
Okay. Are you aware that any exemptions need to be requested 45 days in advance? Okay. All right. The secret process has been completed. So at this point in time, I'd like to entertain a motion.
So moved.
A second?
Second.
All right. We have a roll call. Brian's not here. Lisa?
Yes.
Rhett?
Yay.
Ray?
Yay.
Miguel?
Yes.
Truman?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank
Good.
you.
As well.
You too. Good luck.
We have a project modification. This is for 120 Red Dev LLC. Could you read the modification summary, please?
Yes, sir. 120 Redev LLC proposes the redevelopment of 120 East Ave, a mostly vacant 36,646 square foot building located in the city of Rochester. 120 Redev LLC plans to create 33 affordable residential condos with the intent to sell these units to families earning between 80 and 100% of area median income, which is approximately $58,180 to $103,900 annually. The much-needed housing units will include 5 studio units, 17 one-bedroom units, and 11 two-bedroom units. This is a $12.5 million project which plans to retain the existing restaurant space located on the ground floor, which will create jobs. The applicant was approved for sales and mortgage recording tax exemptions in October of 2025. It is now seeking approval of the Jobs Plus Real Property Tax Abatement as part of the Core Housing Owner Incentive Exemption or CHOICE program, which is supported by the City of Rochester. The CHOICE program's goal is to encourage home ownership in the city, and upon the sale of each of the units, the property tax abatement transfers to the individual owner. A new public hearing was held on February 12th, and the updated cost-to-benefit ratio is 5-1 from the original 11-1 based on the new benefits.
Oh, it's exciting. I understand that the representative, Mr. Ryan Benz, is online to answer questions and give us an update on this process. Mr. Benz?
Yes, my apologies. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. And my apologies, I couldn't be there today in person. Out of town, and it's a little loud in the lobby here, so my apologies across the front here. First is a general update. The project continues to advance nicely. We have full architectural drawings from Wood Design is our architect, and we're at the point where certainly as part of our previous benefits, we will be utilizing local labor. That hasn't changed. We're in the process of bidding the entirety of the project out at this point. So we are generally on schedule with the expectation to close, I hope, in April, maybe May, in terms of all of our financing with New York State, HCR, HFA, and then CPC is our private debt lender. That's all been approved on their side. We're finalizing the state side right now, so that takes a few months. And as part of that, we're buttoning up our final construction numbers. We have pretty solid numbers in place right now, generally in line with what our expectations were, though we have a few scopes remaining. So all in, we're very, very happy with where the project generally lies. I may, in terms of the acquisition of the property that's been anticipated to be handled at the construction closing, that might move up a little bit. I'll have to touch base with the staff here if, as it relates to the mortgage recording exemptions. We have it's just been a challenging contract, candidly. We're trying to remove the seller so that we can fully own the property right now, which just gives us a little bit more comfort as we, kind of come to the finish line here across the board. So I'll be in touch with staff as it relates to that. In terms of the additional requested benefits, when we were first here back in October, we were expecting or hoping to utilize the 485A property tax exemptions for a mixed-use property that's an as-of-right program. And due to the future condo nature of the property, in working with the city, it was discovered that the 485A is specific to mixed use. And because of the condo structure, it's a little bit different. So just on the timing of when we converted that point, that's where we weren't sure if that made most sense at that time. Therefore, working with the city and with staff, we came back and understood the CHOICE program would make sense for this project. It's actually not as good of a long-term benefit as the 45As, or, I think we just want to acknowledge that, but that's okay. We're just happy to provide some abatement for the future affordable households that are purchasing these units and give them some relief as the project comes online. So that's the big key difference as what brings us back here today. I appreciate all of your review and happy to answer any questions as they come up.
Questions from the committee?
Brian, what would be the price point tentatively for the units? For instance, a single bedroom as opposed to a four.
Great question. Studios are averaging a little under about 138,000, and then ones are about 158,000. The twos are about 178,000.
Very good, thank you.
That is truly amazing.
That's great. That is good.
And amenities at your complex, are you looking at different types of amenities that's going to draw?
I wish I could. I truly say that. The program itself does not subsidize anything that's not specific to the residential units.
Okay.
So we really focus on making sure the residential units were as large as possible with the highest quality finishes we could. But there's no gymnasium, there's nothing like that. I think too, you know, people that wanna live in this building downtown, they're folks that enjoy the downtown amenities, you know, the restaurants that are there, they can walk to work or bike to work. I think it's the location which is the best amenity. I will say, each unit does come with storage, so, you know, that's part of it, there's a whole storage area down in the basement, that'll be part of it. There's a bike room where they can lock their bikes, and, in-unit washers and dryers, 100% electric, 100% energy efficient, you know, things like that, but no additional amenities, so.
Well, we don't,
I know it says that the intent is to sell to people making between roughly 58,000 to 104,000. Is that a requirement or just an intent?
It's a great question. We are, per the regulatory agreement with New York State, required to sell to everybody, less than 100% of AMI level. That is a requirement. When we price these, we price them, defined as affordable at 80% of AMI. So if you're making 80% of that number, you will not spend more than 30% of your household income on the mortgage, interest, HOA fees and taxes and those sort of things. So they're affordable, and then we're required to sell at less than 100% of AMI.
Thank you.
Lisa, is that a decent?
Oh, yeah, very much so. Very much so.
I defer to the expert. Any other questions?
Let's go for sure.
Truman?
I'm sorry, sir.
I was talking to someone online.
No, I'm sorry, I was on mute. No questions. You know, I think it's an amazing project, and great job, Brian.
Thank you.
I think it's precisely the type of project that we should be supporting at COMIDA, so happy to see it moving forward and come to fruition.
This is, it's really, I think it's an important project also. So that being said, no additional comments. I'd like to entertain a motion. Miguel? Lisa? Roll call, Lisa?
Yes.
Brett?
Yay.
Ray?
Yay.
Miguel?
Yes.
Truman?
Resounding yes.
And Norman, yes. Motion carries.
All right, thank you all so much for the trust and the time here, I appreciate y'all.
Thank
We'll
you.
let you down.
We'll be watching.
I'm ready, I can handle it. Take care, guys.
And we're gonna have to pick on somebody else after the two of us.
Next project modification is ESIV LLC. It's a pilot modification. Anna?
Yes, ESIV LLC, this modification is to a pilot. Sorry, I'm just opening up my remarks here. 120 Redeb LLC proposes the redevelopment of 120 East, excuse me, I'm reading the wrong one, sorry, ESIV. ESIV LLC is constructing 73 senior apartments and townhouses in the town of Henrietta. This project is phase 4 of the Erie Station development. The units consist of 17 one-bedroom, 28 two-bedroom, 11 three-bedroom apartments, as well as 17 two-bedroom townhouses. 16 of the units will be designated as affordable for individuals earning on average 90% of the area median income. ESIV LLC plans to create 3 new FTEs over the next 3 years. This is a $15.5 million project, which was originally approved for the Jobs Plus Real Property Tax Abatement, Mortgage Reporting Tax Exemption, and Sales Tax Exemption in May of 2024. An extension and increase in project costs was approved in November of 2025, and the applicant is now seeking approval of the new Enhanced Housing Plus Real Property Tax Abatement recommended in the recently adopted housing study. The town of Henrietta is supportive of this change and of the project. A new public hearing was held on February 13th, and the updated cost to benefit ratio is 5-to-1 from the original 7-to-1.
Thank you. I believe we have Chris Nadler here from.
That's correct. Thank you all. First, I'd like to thank the board for hearing this request for a modification. I'd like to thank your staff. They've done an excellent job helping us to walk us through this project, or this process to modify our existing pilot. I'd like to congratulate the board on your housing policy. I think it's great. I think MRB did a very good job for you. And I think you guys recognized that when you latched onto it and moved your housing policy forward. We're excited to, I hope, maybe we're the first here, or at least one of the first, to ask for conversion to get up to date with your current housing policy, with the Enhanced Housing Plus program. We were fortunate to work closely with Supervisor Steve Schultz in the town of Henrietta. He sent the board an email, I hope you've seen it, that said, we've got a number of 60% AMI units in the town. We want senior and we want that area between 80 and 100% AMI. And so we're excited to be able to provide that. And we're excited to, we've worked with the town on a number of other things. We're helping, part of this project, I don't think I mentioned this at the initial project hearing, but we're providing parking spaces at the top of the sledding hill to help handicapped kids so their parents can drive them to the top of the hill and then drive down. There's existing parking spaces at the bottom of the hill. That was the supervisor's idea, and we're happy to do it. So this is an exciting project. It does have a pickleball court and a community center for our residents. We are increasing the number of affordable units from the current 12 to 16. That was what Supervisor Schultz asked of us, and we're happy to do it. So we're excited about this, excited about continuing our relationship with COMIDA, and I'm here happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for that detailed update. Any questions? Howard?
Oh, that's good. Henrietta's a neighbor.
I
Love
understand.
working with them.
And some of your apartments that are completed are already filled, correct?
That's correct. We've had a lot of success getting tenants into the ones that are built. We've gotten a couple more move-ins on March 1, and the project should be done in the very near future. You're all welcome if you want. Reach out. We'd love to give you a hard hat tour, take you through the construction if anybody wants.
I actually know a tenant that's in there and they're very, very happy.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear it. That's great.
Chris will take you up on it when it warms up a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's warm now, but.
You're a smart guy, Nora.
It's good. Okay, Anna did mention that there was a public hearing. It was held on the 13th. Any questions or comments from that public hearing?
No comments.
All right. So, I'd like to entertain a motion. Brett?
I'll second.
Lisa seconds. Lisa?
Oh, yes, sorry.
Brett?
Yay.
Ray?
Yay.
Miguel?
Yes.
Truman?
Yes.
Norman is a yes.
Well, thank you all very much. We
Thank you.
appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.
Looking forward to continuing working with you guys.
Thank you. All right. I'm going to turn it over to the executive director.
Thank you, Norman. And thank you for your steady hand today, and we appreciate, Truman, you being with us remotely. I know it's February break this week, so busy schedules. The first item under executive director discussion items is you may recall in our January meeting that Rochester Downtown Development Corporation did an overview presentation, a status update on what's been accomplished in the last year, plus with a $300,000 contractual relationship that we have with the organization. Today, Galen Brooks, the president and CEO of RDDC, is with us once more to formally request $150,000 to carry on that work in the next year. And we had a couple of exciting updates on downtown projects here in the course of this meeting. So downtown is obviously crucially important to the work that COMIDA does. Welcome, Galen.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we'd love to hear a little bit more from you, and then we can have a dialogue with the board.
Absolutely, happy to, and it is wonderful to hear about all the projects that are moving forward with your support, and the real testament to the work that you all are doing is the growth that we see every day in downtown, so thank you. And it's wonderful to see everyone. We're a little bit warmer outside today than we were last time I saw you, but as Anna shared, I did want to elaborate a bit on our plans for 2026. Moving forward in the investment from COMIDA, what we hope to do with your funding should you choose to support. Apologize, I can't see the Catherine, did you get the PowerPoint that I sent?
I sent you a thing saying you can do it on your computer.
It's okay, I have printed copies.
Okay, that's probably the
That's
best
great.
idea, yeah.
That's great.
Always have a backup, right?
Thank you, Dan.
We have
Can
8,
pass
so
them
you can
around.
take one and pass it around, and they'll mostly get there.
Send that around. There's one extra.
You-
Voting members have more.
Thank you.
I'm just an observer.
So as you may recall from
I'm
last
sorry,
month,
is there not a electronic copy that,
You know what, Truman, I can email you a PDF.
We're gonna send that to you right now, Truman.
oh, perfect, thank you,
Sorry about that.
thank you, Allison.
Here,
no worries.
here's an extra one.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Allison. As you may recall from last month, downtown Rochester has seen a significant volume of increase in residents. So if you go to the second slide, you'll see a little more information related to this. People have moved downtown to the many new apartments that have been created. And indeed, as was asked about, right here in this very room last month, there was a 62% increase in the number of people living in downtown Rochester, the downtown core, in the span of 10 years. So a really strong and demonstrable level of growth. We've also seen a great uptick in the volume of retail and amenities that are here, with an ever wider variety of things to do and see, places to eat and drink. Establishments like Shell or Patron Saint, Sagra Italia, and of course our signature classics like Panavino, Red, and the ever family-friendly Dinosaur Barbecue. Downtown Rochester has quite the burgeoning dining and cultural scene. You go to the third slide, the downtown activity slide. Next, in 2025, we saw demonstrable growth in the volume of ground floor retail businesses with 20 new openings and an increase of about 67% above 2024. With your support, we're seeing real improvements and gain in downtown performance. And likewise, our downtown activity numbers continue to grow with real momentum building quarter after quarter each year, with an almost 25% increase in the number of people on average downtown on the weekend since 2022, and close to a 16% increase in the number of people on average on in downtown on a weekday since 2022. Go to the next slide. This sustained growth is key for downtown, and COMIDA's work, strategic investments, and programmatic support is essential to making it happen. It is helping drive new activity, pushing new awareness, and encouraging those positive, sticky experiences that will make our downtown thrive. Indeed, with your help, we launched several new programs to drive vibrancy in downtown. We go to the next slide. And looking forward to 2026, we've honed our focus and are proceeding strategically in 3 key pillars: championing the downtown story, activating downtown, and enhancing livability and business vitality. And next slide, slide 7. Indeed, our specific request to this group is to fund 3 direct programs for tangible results that we will see this year out and about in downtown. The first, seasonal decor with new lighting and decorations. We will focus on our central node in and around Parcel 5 in the heart of our city and our region, and add a concentration of lighting elements at our most festive time of year. The second, downtown rock stars. We will continue the downtown on-street hospitality ambassador program. And number 3, we will deliver our 5th season of outdoor, free, community-friendly programming. On the next slide, in 2025, your funding supported the installation of new decorations on Main Street in the heart of downtown. Those pole-mounted lights made a difference in how Main Street looks and feels to people. And we recognize that there is much more potential to broaden impact by bringing light, cheer, ingenuity, and beauty into our most central node in the public realm downtown. It is why we are specifically requesting funding to support the installation of new winter, festive, seasonal decor in and around Parcel 5 to brighten up the heart of our downtown and invite people out to enjoy, connect with friends, coworkers, neighbors, and take in the cheer of the season. Your funding, next slide, your funding will also support the Downtown Rockstars program. an on-street hospitality ambassador program that runs in partnership with the REOC. This program serves as a workforce development initiative to train participants for careers in hospitality while also engaging in an on-street internship, promoting all the wonderful things on offer in the heart of downtown, and offering a friendly face to those who are out and about and helping with questions. There are several layers of management for this program, and after the first year of piloting it, we are eager to get it started again. Here on that slide, in your deck, hopefully, you can see some of those sample program materials, a route map and a daily tracking form. And these offer a little more of a sense of the duties and information that the Downtown Rockstars have on hand and are sharing and promoting, and also what they gather for performance metrics and tracking. And the final slide, last but not least, COMIDA's funding and support of RDDC in its mission to drive vibrancy in downtown Rochester would help deliver our 5th full season of free outdoor event programming in downtown. Our events have been hugely popular. As you saw last time, we increased the volume by close to 200% in just the first 4 seasons. We've expanded programming now to include events in Rock the Riverway spaces and Washington Square. And with your support, we would be able to directly provide Rock the Riverway programming, Summer in the Square programming, or our Movies with the Downtown View series. This year promises to be even more popular with a People's Choice season and plenty of buzz and excitement to join in the movie programming. I want to close by sincerely thanking you all for your work every day to drive forward vibrancy, economic development, and growth throughout our downtown and our region. Thank you, and I'm happy to take questions.
Thank you, Galen. Questions? Howard?
Actually, don't have a question. Just as a member of the county legislature who represents a suburban town, it's wonderful seeing the cooperation between the city and the county to create a more vibrant downtown. It will improve the quality of life of this region. It's really important. Happy to see it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. It's an incredible testament to the leadership of Anna and the county executive, the mayor, all the folks at the leadership level. So kudos to you all.
Lisa, questions?
No, I enjoy a lot of your events. I attend a lot of your events, and it's really great.
Thank you.
Galen, I'm going to say it again. Your energy, your preparedness, where you're taking this is very impressive. I've worked on downtown initiatives, Rock the Riverway, Downtown Enhancement District, all of that. And the way you're bringing people together, the way you're unifying folks, and having them all in the same accord with one vision for downtown is important, and it's very, very timely. So I just want to say, keep up that effort and keep that spirit of energy in bringing people together.
Thank you so much. That means a lot, especially coming from you. So we'll have to talk more going forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But one thing I just wanted to say, and I'm taking privilege right now. There was a person who was part of the initial Downtown Enhancement District. He was a person that was planting the flowers for the city. He was out there every single day. His name was John Arena. If you guys remember John Arena, he was out there every day. He just died recently, and he just gave his entire self to making sure that downtown was a good place. And the spirit that you are conveying is the same type of attitude and spirit that he had. So it's important just to say that right now. Just having, the little history that I have.
Absolutely.
Because, I'm like Brett, I'm a little long in the tooth. But I do have the history, and I just love the spirit that you bring. So.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I'll pass that on also to the Enhancement District group and make sure that's known. Perhaps there's a way to acknowledge him and his service on Main Street.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. We need a motion. Lisa, Brett, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Next item, Airport Marketing Fund?
Yes, we don't have, electronic materials for this one. Gary might have some handouts. Okay. You don't have handouts? So I'm just gonna introduce this actually verbally. So this is an overview of a proposed incentive program to be facilitated by a community partner in support of the airport. This is something that some peer regions and airports facilitate for their own airport businesses and for competitiveness of routes. It's a tool for competing for newer expanded airline services and stronger route networks. Andy Moore, who's our airport director, couldn't be here today because he has the flu. Gary Walker is the deputy director of the Frederick Douglass Greater Rochester International Airport. And Gary's gonna speak to this concept. And I also want to acknowledge Dr. Joseph Sefro and Shannon Ely from One Rock here today. One Rock is in conversations with the airport and with the county about taking this on. And this will ultimately be, at the appropriate time, an ask of COMIDA for a seed funding for said incentive fund. So with that, Gary, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, and thanks for the promotion. I'm actually the senior staff assistant at the airport.
You'll see that reflected in your
Good afternoon. I'm speaking for Andy. Andy has got a nasty bug, and he said he wanted to spread this information, not the flu. So I'm here in his stead. But under the direction of County Executive Bello, Andy has been working with the community, COMIDA, and One Rock for an airport incentive fund. It would be a collaboration of all those groups. And One Rock has agreed to host the fund, which is very critical because the Federal Aviation Administration, the FAA, mandates that these funds remain separate from airport management and from the county directly. So the Monroe County Aviation Authority and the airport cannot oversee, direct, or fund this effort. And One Rock is still working on the final details of the fund management, but this incentive fund is exactly that. We're trying to incentivize airlines to establish more nonstop routes and to do more investment in the airport. Things like airport fee reductions are on the page. A lot of increased marketing is what they're looking for, but increasingly these community incentive funds are becoming the norm in the business. As a matter of fact, right down the thruway in Syracuse, one exists already. It's hosted by Center State. And that was a key element in Hancock Airport's recruiting of Breeze Airways in 2022. That package included $100,000 in direct payment and a $500,000 over multi-year marketing fund to bring Breeze to Hancock and to open up 3 routes. Now this year, Andy has already had discussions with several airlines about our routes west. And the first question they have is, what's the community going to bring to the table? So this is basically, as Anna said, a tool for us to not fall behind. We are falling behind other markets because these things exist and they're proliferating. And more, the community funds are tipping the balance in favor of locating specific routes, particularly nonstop routes, and that are attractive to businesses and to leisure travelers. Right now, we lose 73,000 passengers a year to Buffalo. That's 200 a day, every day. And more importantly, Andy likes to say is that we're not just in competition with Buffalo, Syracuse, Toronto, New York, which is overall, if you take all those airports, we're at about 160,000 passengers we lose. We're in competition with 300 other airports around the country because at 700, probably 75 to 100 million apiece, there's only so many airplanes and so many crews that go around. And airlines make decision on what's the most profitable route to be. And they come to us and they ask us, well, what else can you throw into the pot to sweeten it? So without an incentive fund, if there's a pile A and a pile B, as Andy likes to say, we're in pile B. And everybody else is in pile A. And so, not that this incentive fund is the only thing that makes a difference. you could have $5 million, if you wanted to, and if an airline said, this is not our business plan, they're not gonna do it. So it's a process, but it is a tool. It's a good tool to have. And just to give you just a couple other examples, and I'm not saying we need to be at this level, but the Lincoln Airport in Nebraska, $4 million to establish a flight to Charlotte. Lansing, Michigan committed 2.5 in local funds for Green Bay, 1 million, and what they call MRG, which is actually offsetting expenses and actually profit for the airlines. I'm not saying we do that either. Jobs Ohio takes $10 million a year for airport incentive funds in the state of Ohio. So this is something that's been ongoing, it's been growing, and it's something we're going to want to come to you for support as possible as a Kickstarter for a fund that can be matched by the local businesses, and working with One Rock, the Chamber, and all sorts of business. We've been reaching out and having meetings with them, and we feel there's a lot of support for it. Now it's just a question of how do we get it done, and that's why we're here today, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Gary.
This would be
Hi,
alternate.
Jerry. Hi, Jerry, how are you? This is Truman Tolfrey. I do have a quick question for you. So I think the specific ask is for, is it $150,000 on it?
Yes, that's right, Truman. It would be $150,000 as like a seed investment where the county is essentially taking the first step in establishing the fund, and we would hope that that would be matched by, many times over, by contributions from the business community, as is done in some other markets, as Gary pointed out.
Got it. So these dollars will be used specifically, they would go towards the fund to incentivize airlines to, increase their routes. So would a portion of the dollars be used for, operating costs? I guess I'm just trying to get a better feel for specifically what the dollars will be used for, number one, and number two, you mentioned that you've received some good support from the community. If you can maybe give us a little bit more color on how much support you've received from the local business community as well, to achieve, whatever your goal is, your fundraising goal. And I apologize if I missed it. If you could also tell us what your fundraising goal is, that would be helpful.
It's not exactly a fundraising goal. These incentive funds are kind of ongoing, and they grow and expand. Sometimes they're not even used at all if you can get airlines to line up with your business plan, their business plan with your route needs. But what we have found, and we're working with One Rock, and those details are being, going through right now. But in our discussions with business leaders, they're saying, hey, bring us a route. Mm-hmm. And if it's something that we really need, say Denver, Dallas, we want dots out west. We need that. We've just lost Las Vegas because Southwest reorganized, and they decided that they did not want to fly over Midway. They want everybody to go there first instead of going out west. We're working now, Andy's working now on another airline to pick up that route. But it's, so it's not exactly a number, but if we came to the business folks, they're telling us you should have a pool of money that we could use. But if there's a route that comes up that's viable, and that there's a number that needs to come up, we feel confident that there will be support for that.
And I think, as Gary, you pointed out to Truman's question, the airport authority itself is prohibited from being directly engaged in the facilitation of a fund like this because of the federal laws and regulations. Hence, One Rock having been nominated as a potential community partner, and One Rock is representative of many business leaders in the 9-county Finger Lakes region. I don't mean to put One Rock on the spot. I don't know if Joe or Shannon, if you could speak to any of the conversations with the business community at this time, and whether there is support yet for the airport marketing fund. If you could address Truman's question.
Sure, do you want me to go to the podium?
If you don't mind, thank you. I'm sorry to put you on the spot.
No, I mean, I would just build on what Joe Stefko, President and CEO at One Rock, which serves as our regional economic alliance. The risk of repeating some of what Gary said, we had a presentation that the airport leadership team gave to our board at its quarterly meeting at the end of January.
really robust discussion. At the end of that conversation, our board unanimously endorsed, unanimously approved a resolution for One Rock to serve as the intermediary, essentially the steward of these dollars, contingent on us aligning with county leadership and airport leadership on what the decision-making process will be for calling on those funds and then ultimately reporting back to funders. The phrase seed funding has been used a few times in this conversation already. I would amplify that. One of the themes that came out from our board discussion, which again, around our board table, our board level investors are by and large business and philanthropic institutions in the 9-county greater Rochester region. One of the consistent themes that came out of that conversation at our January board meeting was that we really should look at this initial funding, $150,000, as true seed funding, that at the end of the day, if we benchmark this air service incentive fund to peer airports across the country, that really is a drop in the bucket. So this is essentially, with the county dollars being first dollar in, or COMIDA's dollars being first dollar in, it's a call to action to our business community to step in and become part of building out a more robust capital stack. I felt a little bit for Andy at our board meeting in January when we had some of our One Rock board members that were specifically asking, well, what is the price tag? What do we have to pay an airline to get that direct to Denver or to get that direct to Dallas? And as with economic development, generally speaking, this is the answer to that question is really subject to a negotiation between our community and the airport. Eventually, there's not one magic dollar figure, right? So I would say that two things in closing. One, our board was unanimously supportive of One Rock playing this intermediary role on behalf of the airport and the broader community. And secondly, I think a broad recognition that that $150,000 investment really should be seen as seed funding. This is not going to get us where we need to be, but it can be a powerful vehicle on which we can build to create a more competitive incentive fund.
Thank you, Joe.
Happy to answer any other questions.
Yes, Howard.
So one of my other duties as a county legislator is to serve on the airport authority. And economic development is a puzzle. And one of the pieces of that puzzle is our airport. So anything that we can do to promote the airport so that it can be part of our economic development plan is a wise idea. So I think this is, again, one step in helping that piece of that puzzle support the county.
So, I understand hearing what you're saying, Joe, what you're saying. I believe that this is the first part of developing the strategy on how do we get on the same playing field with Syracuse and Buffalo. Because I must admit, I've driven to Buffalo for a cheaper airfare. So, what's the difference between Rochester and Buffalo? I've driven to Syracuse for cheaper airfare. We really need to make sure that our population knows that if you all flew out of Rochester, we probably would have lower airfares. And hopefully, if we all would subscribe to flying out of the Frederick Douglass International Airport, we would probably see lower airfares. And we develop a demand ourselves. So we take some of that capacity away by doing that. And I think hopefully part of your strategy would be to talk about that and having an outreach approach to our community, let them know by driving to Buffalo, by driving to Syracuse, you're kicking yourself.
You're telling airlines we don't need the route here.
Right,
I'm just jumping in because Andy would absolutely kick me if I didn't. That is part of what we're doing right now, is we're having creating a community-wide, we're using a lot of social media, a lot of digital ads to start laying that message down. But Andy has had discussions with airlines about, you're flying to Buffalo, you're flying from Syracuse, and he said, if your people are willing to drive to Buffalo, we have them anyway. Why would we bother putting a route to your place? We're getting them anyway. And that's the true message. So every time you go to another airport, you're telling the airlines that you don't need to fly out of Rochester. You're gonna go with them anyway.
But if you did the math, Gary,
I know.
The parking in Buffalo is twice as expensive as the parking in Rochester. So those are the, you have to do the math, put together the equation. The parking in Syracuse is almost, 2.5 times as expensive. So I think you need to, make sure that it's apples to apples comparison.
Yeah, we're actually doing a calculator on the website that's gonna do a lot of that. Gotta be careful what you ask for though, because, for instance, Buffalo is twice the size of Rochester, twice as many flights, because they have Canada to draw from. Most of their, at least 40–45% of their passengers going out of Buffalo are from Canada. To our north, we have salmon, so we really can't, compete as far as how many numbers here. But that said, we have a lot of markets to the south, to the east, the catchments all the way up to Syracuse, even down to Ithaca, which has a spike. Yeah, we're going after that aggressively, and hopefully we can. The more flights that come out of Rochester, the more competition, and that's how the numbers come down. The number one city that we lose Rochester residents to Buffalo is Orlando. We have multiple flights to Orlando. Well, they have 7 a day. And so it fits into your schedule, you go there. And people just do it from habit. So we're working hard to also tell them that we have these things too. And, it's worth staying home and flying from home.
And the Buffalo and the Syracuse airports in different phases, they have funds like the one we're talking about today.
Buffalo's actually working on, Buffalo hasn't really needed it, but we know they're starting one.
They're starting one.
Syracuse has one.
And
Syracuse does have one, and Long Island has one, and there's multiple other areas right around the East Coast that have them. And they all want for the same thing. They want to go out west, which we want to do too.
Yep.
Howard?
Yeah, also, if you haven't been to the airport, I suggest you go out to the airport. Improvements are fabulous.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very, very, very welcoming place right now, and I would strongly suggest you visit the veterans area. It's wonderful.
Is there a priority on what the incentive would be used for? Meaning, is it new destinations, is it frequency, is it, direct flights?
Yes. The frequency of flights to Orlando would be a huge win because that's the bulk of the people we're losing, is because of the frequency of flights out of Buffalo. But when we talk to the business community, and there's a strong desire to be able to go to Dallas, to be able to go to, Phoenix, any place in California, but that's a tall lift. But Denver is a major place, destination that people want to go to as well. Half of the people, when we did fly to Las Vegas, half of the individuals on that flight didn't stay in Vegas. They used it as a jumping off point for other places, which is another reason why Southwest said, well, we don't want that. We want you either go to stay in Vegas, or if you're gonna go to other places, do it from one of our hubs. So, I mean, we're looking out west if all possible.
Any other questions?
I just have a comment that I just read in the last week that the Frederick Douglass Airport is the 6th best small airport in the country.
Yes, we're proud of that.
Congratulations.
Yeah, next year we want to break top 5.
That's great.
So we don't have a motion in front of the board today for this concept, but we wanted to socialize it and engage the support of the COMIDA board members. And at the appropriate time in the future, when One Rock has perhaps a proposal, a governance structure, we would love to entertain a motion for $150,000 to seed the fund.
Truman, do you have any other questions, Truman? Okay, all right. Joe, Gary, thank you. Really appreciate your update. Thank you. Okay, next item of business, the dashboard.
Thank you. It's only February, so not a great deal of activity to report in 2026, but I'm pleased to share that due to our housing study and the new avenues that we've carved out for certain types of housing projects, we're getting a lot more inquiries from developers about different economic development projects in the hopper in Monroe County. Thus far in 2026, we have, I think I was looking at the dashboard for I think the dashboard is mislabeled December 31st, 2025, so it's actually the January dashboard.
Oh, yeah.
But
I changed
3
every
sales
other
tax exemptions, 1 mortgage reporting tax exemption, 1 pilot, this is all as of February. But we hope to see those numbers obviously increase as the year goes on. And it's a good segue because our next item on the agenda is the governance committee report, and you may see this dashboard evolve as our policies evolve with potential update to our uniform tax exemption policy. So with that, if there are any questions about the dashboard, I welcome them.
Comment for the airport, if you don't mind, real quick. I think that Truman was asking, just like Miguel was asking for specifics, but I think what I heard loud and clear from Gary is that seed money from COMIDA is gonna turn into things with, you know.
I'm not speaking for them, but I think it's gonna help them put together their plan, their strategy. They have a vision, but the strategy of getting there, they wanna be on, I think, they want to, and I think they need to be on the same playing field with Syracuse and Buffalo. Not with volume, but with pricing. And because that's what, everyone looks at the pricing. So I know I can fly out of Buffalo a little bit more economically than I can out of Rochester.
More direct flights and they're lower cost. And the airport did just finalize a leakage study that Gary mentioned, the 200 passengers a day, I think, that we lose to Buffalo, he said. So that data is fresh, came from the leakage report. Truman, I see you took yourself off mute.
It seems like there are, just to be honest with you, it seems like there are some structural issues that would make it difficult for us to compete with Buffalo and Syracuse long term. And, you know, those are things that are outside of our control. Notwithstanding, it does feel like, you know, investing the $150,000 of seed capital to at least pull together a framework to see if there's a path forward to address those issues and make us more competitive is a worthy investment. You know, I know that, you know, direct flights is something that, you know, a lot of businesses consider when thinking about locations and, you know, where they set up new platforms. And so from that standpoint, you know, it's a real issue. I think it is a critical issue. And I think it's worthy of further consideration. So from that standpoint, you know, I think I am in favor of investing the seed capital, notwithstanding the data does seem as if, you know, those structural concerns are some very real challenges and obstacles that we need to figure out how we can overcome. If not completely overcome them, at least mitigate them.
Well, I think this is a start. This is how you start at the beginning to deal with the issue. And there was a point in time back in the 2006, 2008, 2009 timeframe where Rochester had as many direct flights to Orlando and the different places as Buffalo and Syracuse. But then someone bought out certain airlines and that changed it. So of course I used to love to fly down there, and you can jump on there for a round trip for $150. So.
And the airlines are really looking for that business travel more so than the leisure travel. So the involvement of the business community, the employer base is going to be crucial. I think in a different era, the business community was very actively engaged in airport service in and out of Rock, but it was more, it was a pre-digital era. It was in the Eastman Kodak, you know, heyday. So I think it's time for us to brush that off and try to enhance our competitiveness.
Okay, great discussion. The dashboard.
The dashboard, nothing earth-shattering to report here, just a handful of projects thus far, but I did mention off the top that we are receiving a lot more inquiries from business owners, developers, project owners in light of the housing study. So we hope that the 2026 performance of COMIDA will be strong, given because obviously the economic dynamics are tough to read at the moment, and with uncertainty around interest rates and just the general cost of doing business being tough to predict, we're seeing the same issues persist where businesses aren't necessarily moving full steam ahead with ambitious investments. But the housing study is giving us reason to hope that our project dashboard will show a greater frequency of projects in 2026. And furthermore, too, this morning was the not the grand opening, but an announcement about Reju. It's a French textile recycling company. They're going to be locating in the city of Rochester at Easton Business Park. That's not on our agenda quite yet, but we hope that will appear on a forthcoming COMIDA agenda. And Brett, thank you for bringing the DNC so that I have a prop. So that's an exciting one for 2026 also. Stay tuned.
Thank you, Anna. All right. Okay, Governance Committee report. The committee met on January 22nd. We did a review and discussion around the updates to the Uniform Tax Exemption Policy, UTEP. This is based on our change from our previous housing policy to our new housing policy. We concluded that the UTEP should include the recommendations from the recently adopted housing study. The committee also discussed adjusting the standard 10-year jobs plus abatement schedule to be a true 10-year abatement, which was, I think it's probably the truest way of doing it, based on an amazing discussion that we had. And I just want to let all the board members know that every committee meeting that you can show up to, you're welcome to. You don't have to be a member of that committee to come. We love the conversations, discussion. Not you, Howard, but I'm just that's a joke, Howard.
Slowly the top.
No, but the discussions are very critical in how we make our decisions, and everybody's opinion is valued. So it's really a good chance to discuss that. I had to get that out. The committee, we discussed the 10-year jobs plus abatement schedule to be a true 10-year abatement. The committee was also supportive of year one to be 100% abatement for jobs plus and housing schedules. We also discussed adjustments to job creation requirements for changing that around from new to large area projects. We also discussed the importance of transparency, maintaining collaborative relationship with the taxing jurisdictions. That means the cities and the towns, and making sure that we have a good line of communications and informing and sharing information with all the stakeholders where we're introducing these new schedules. Truman, anything else I need to add?
Next Tuesday or?
No, I think you did a great job. Thank you. And thank you for your leadership as chair of the governance committee and, pushing this effort forward. We really appreciate your efforts, and the entire staff, by the way, Anna, Robin, Rachel, everyone at COMIDA. I think this is a massive undertaking, and, it's definitely pushing COMIDA forward, and, highlights the fact that we want all the economic incentives that we have that are available to the business community to actually make sense, right? And so, this is an important effort, and so I'm excited to see it moving forward. So, great job to the entire board and to the staff.
Brett?
We had talked about getting together again next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Robin?
Yeah, we just need to confirm with
Well, let's
committee members.
let me check my calendar. We'll get back, all right? If you don't mind.
Let me get that on the calendar.
Well,
I brought my calendars.
the one thing that we discussed with the UTEP, with the housing study, with whatever we're doing from governance, the changes that we make, it's a living, breathing document that we make the actual changes and adjustments to reflect the needs of the community and the organization. So that being said, I think the committee is doing a bang-up job, moving this forward, and anyone who wants to attend the committee meetings, you're more than welcome. And that's it for the committee report. Chair discussion items. Truman, I'm just filling in for you, so you have any items you wanna discuss?
No. Sorry I couldn't be there, but I appreciate your call accommodating me online, virtually.
Thank you. Thank you, Truman. That being said.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
I heard something the other day about a delay in the Fairlife project. Do we know anything about that?
That's, in the past now. There was
Okay,
a little
they
bit
took
of a
care of it.
hiccup there around, some permits, but all is well, and things are moving full steam ahead over there,
Fairlife
so.
is moving along.
Yes, we'll make sure that you're all invited to that ribbon cutting, I think, once the snow melts, I think, when the weather gets a little
And they
nicer.
paved the roads going in there.
And they pave the roads going in there, right.
Okay, it's important, we have to have our milk.
Well, the dairy farmers are delivering the milk.
It would be
It's-
utterly ridiculous if we had a problem.
Oh, no, it's,
Utterly.
oh, man, oh, wow. Okay.
Thanks,
Okay, our next meeting is, March 24th at 12. Please note this is the fourth Tuesday of the month, and the committee meetings will be held on March 18th. But we will have an update on our meeting for next week, okay? I would like to entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned.
Thank you, everybody.
I won't be here the 24th.
Where are you gonna be?
I'm afraid to tell you. You're gonna come after me? Yeah, right.
Yeah, are you flying out of
You're flying out of
Rochester?
Rochester?
Hopefully, hopefully.
Only for part of the trip.